welcome everyone. Tonight we're going to be making an apple and rhubarb streusel. That's right, not strudel, streusel. So what we're going to need for the streusel, which is a German word for sprinkle, is some plain flour, some self-raising flour, some brown sugar, cinnamon, and butter. We're also going to need to make a base, and that base is going to be like a very simple short crust, and that's with the custard powder, sugar, flour, butter, and egg. And then we'll have the filling, which is rhubarb, and that's been grown in our garden with apple, which hasn't been grown in our garden, some orange, and some honey. It's going to be done in 3 parts, so I will show you each part as we go along. And hopefully you'll try it one day and see what you think. So we'll take it from there. First thing we're going to do is make the streusel. So we've combined the plain flour, the self-raising flour, the brown sugar, the cinnamon, and the butter. Now remember, everything is going to be, all the ingredients and the method will be in the description below. So you can get a lot more detail there. I'm not going to give you exact quantities right now, because we're looking at what we're going to do. So we're going to make this first, because the reason we're making this first is it needs to go into the freezer once it's been combined and frozen. So it will take about an hour or so for it to freeze, because then you will then grate this over the top, and that's where you get the word streusel from. Like we said, it means sprinkle enjoyment. After about 3 or 4 minutes of mixing it together, we get a very sort of simple dough. And now that's going to be wrapped up in cling wrap and put into the freezer for approximately an hour to an hour and 10 minutes to freeze. So the next thing we're going to do now is cook off the apple rhubarb with the honey and the orange zest. And we're going to cook that down so it gets nice and soft. And then we have to let that cool down, because otherwise we can't put it together. So we'll come back to it once this has been cooked down. Okay, now we're going to beat together the butter, the sugar, and the butter and sugar, and the egg yolk. And then once that's beat together, we're going to add that to the flour. And now we're going to add the flour to the whipped butter, egg and sugar. And then it's going to mix through well. And once that's mixed through, it'll be put into the baking tray and it will be blind baked. So once it's mixed in, we'll come back to it then. Okay, once it's come to a nice sort of doughy consistency, it goes into a paper line or baking paper line tray, and we then fold it out until we've got a nice base. Now you're not going to go up to the sides, just a base, because it's more like a slice than anything else. And that will go into the oven and it will blind bake. And like I said, all of the details, method, timings will all be in the description below. Okay, the base has been baked. I did say blind bake, that was a mistake. It was just plain bake. And now it's got nice golden colour, as you can see there. And the topping, the rhubarb and apple has now cooled down. And that gets put over the top there, so it's nice and spread through. So nice. Oh, the smell is fantastico. It's a beautiful. You can smell him from ear to ear. See, spread that over nice and evenly, and then we're going to go get the streusel, and we're going to be grating it over the top. And there's the frozen streusel. It gets great over top. Remember, streusel means sprinkle. You sprinkle with a tinkle. And it's got the cinnamon in there and all the flavouring, so that should now melt over the top of it. So you make sure you get a nice good covering over the top. And you just keep on covering, and then we'll see what it's like when she comes out of the oven. Now for about 20 minutes in the oven. That's the Apple und Rhubarb Streusel. Streusel, not strudel, Streusel. So yeah, enjoy.